everybody, welcome to this CRUD tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at the U operation, which is update. And hopefully during the tutorial you'll also pick up some other useful web design tips and tricks. Let's get started. If you remember, in my index.php file we're simply displaying the contents of a database table. I've already started to design my update.php file, and if we take a look at it, it's also just displaying the contents of a database table. So what we really want to do in our update page is create a new column, and I'm going to call it the update column. And in the dynamics section, let's echo a new TD cell with the word update. Don't forget your semicolon at the end. Now let's save that and refresh. Brilliant. Now I want to turn these update words here into links. So let's use an A tag to do that. We'll open it there and we'll close the A tag at the end of the word update. And what we're going to do, when we click the word update, we're going to jump to another web page. That web page is the update form web page. We'll look at that in a moment. Okay. So updateform.php. Let's save that and see if it works. Oh, okay. I think the problem is with href equals, we need to use single quotation marks. Let's use single quotation marks for that. We'll save that and refresh. Yeah, that worked. Now I've already started designing updateform.php, so let's click update and see if it works. Yay! Okay, here we go. Now in updateform.php, what I want to be able to do is edit the person's details that we want to update, and when I click submit, we update the database. Okay. Now the problem at the moment is, how can I get these details into this form? Okay, now the trick is to send the ID from this page to this page. Now we can do that by using the question mark operator. After .php, there's a question mark, which means we're going to send some data in a variable. Let's create a variable name. I'm just going to call it person. And let's assign it a value. Just to get started, I'm going to assign it a value of 1. We'll change this later. This is just to get things up and running and tested, okay? So we're going to call the web page, and we're going to send it some data in a variable called person. Okay, now let's save that. Let's go back to my update page, which is this page here, and let's click update. Look what happens. Well, I'm just going to save that again, Command S, and refresh. Whoop. Let's go to refresh, sorry, and then update. Yes, that's what we want. Can you see that when we loaded the page, we also sent it a variable called person with some data in it? Okay. What we need to do now in our update form page, which is this page, update form, we need to grab that variable. Okay, this is how to do it. I'm going to create a new PHP block up here, and if a variable was set called person, okay, when we loaded the page, if a variable was set and that variable had a name called person, let's grab that variable into our own JavaScript variable. And let's just echo it onto the page just to see if it worked. So let's save that. We'll go back and we'll update again. Yes, there it is. Now, of course, we don't always want that to be 1. We want it to be the ID of whoever we want to update. Okay. So what we want to do on our update page, on our hyperlink here, we don't always want it to be 1. We want it to be this row ID. So I'm going to copy that, including the dots. I'm going to replace that 1 with 2 quotation marks. And inside those quotation marks, I'm going to paste that dot, row ID dot. Okay? So this is the data that we're going to be assigning to the person variable. So let's save that. And let's click update again. Let's do number 11. Oh, it still says person equals 1. Did I save that properly? Let's save it again. Command S. Let's go back and refresh this page. And let's go to 11 again. Yes, it worked. We're sending some data from one page to another page. Now that we've got that data in the update form, we managed to grab it. Let's create some SQL. Because we want to grab all of the data. We're going to select everything from social data where the ID field in our social data table is the same as this variable here, this person variable. Okay. Now let's run that SQL and store the result. We need our connection variable to run the query. And then let's grab the row, because there's only one, we don't need to do any looping. There's only one result. There's only one person with that ID. So this SQL produces one row. Let's grab that row. Okay. So hopefully we've got all of the information related to the person we want to update in an SQL row. Now let's use that information to update the value of each of these input boxes in the form, each of these input boxes here. Okay, what we're going to do, instead of saying ID, we're going to include some PHP. So there's the start of the PHP. And we're going to echo our rows ID. And we're going to close the PHP. Maybe we need a semicolon there as well. On that echo line of code. Make sure you finish that echo with a semicolon. Okay. That's the PHP that's going to tell us the value. In this input box, value equals first name. In this one, it's last name. In this one, it's location. And in this one, it's age. Okay, so the value displayed in these are going to be the values, the current values for that person in the database. When we click submit, we're going to reload this page and update the database. Okay, so we'll do submit in a minute. Make sure that each input has a unique name. This is the age input, this is the location input, this is the last name input, this is the first name input, and this is the ID input. Okay, because later PHP, when we submit, PHP is going to use those names. Okay, so let's save that. Let's go back and click update, do number 2, Hazel Armstrong. Yes, Hazel Armstrong. Now actually, we don't want the user to be able to edit the ID. That's one thing that we don't want the user to do. We still need the ID to be loaded, because later when we click submit, we're going to post the ID for processing. So we need it, but we don't want the user to see it. So for this ID, let's do hidden instead of text. Type equals hidden, and just take the label away. Let's save that and go back and refresh. Yeah, so we're not seeing the ID anymore, but we are seeing all of the other information. Okay, so Katie becomes Bill. When I click submit, I'm posting data. So that's what this PHP block is doing here. Do you remember this from the last tutorial? If we load the page and something is being posted, we need to grab that posted data. We're going to create some variables in PHP to grab whatever was posted. And the first thing that was posted was this ID field. And then we've got first name, last name, location, age. Let's do F name, L name, location, and age. And they're all the same, aren't they? Age, location, all in lowercase. Oh, that's L name and F name. Okay. Now that we've got the data that was posted, we're going to do some SQL. And we're going to do an update query. Okay. Update social data set. I'm going to use backticks for this. ID is the same as this ID variable. First name, which is the field in the database, will be equal to this variable. Last name will be equal to the L name variable. Location will be equal to the location variable. And age in the database table will be assigned our age PHP variable. Okay. Now we're only doing this update where the ID in the database is the same as our ID that we grabbed from the post, right? That's the update that we're doing. Okay, so there's our SQL. Let's run that SQL using our connection. Now what I'm going to do here is a little trick. If when we run the query, successfully, what we're going to do is return to our index.php page. Okay, we'll get out of this page, update form, and we'll just go back to index.php, and let's just force the exit from this page. And if it's not successful, let's just echo an error message, problem updating record. Okay, so this PHP block grabs any posted data, creates some SQL, runs the SQL, and then will send us back to index.php if everything is okay. Okay, so let's save that. Let's go back to our update page and let's try to do an update. So Luna Fabregas, and it's not working. Right, okay, so I had an issue with the $sign. Just double check your $signs as you're going through. And I also forgot to put a semicolon on this echo. Okay, that destroyed my SQL. But I fixed that. Let's save it. Let's click someone. Let's go to Kevin, number 10. Okay, Kevin, you are now 19 years old and you've moved to the UK. Number 10, Kevin is 19 years old and has moved to the UK. It works. We have updated a database table. Have a go.